Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
That kid is back on the escalator again.
Ain't gonna hurt.
Here's my boomstick!
Game over, man. It's game over.
Welcome to the Bargain Bin. He is your host, Ben Mason.
And he is your co-host, Sandro Luketic. And today we're talking 1985's The Last Dragon. We assume that if you're listening to this episode, you have already seen the movie. Sandro, this is a first-time watch for both of us, yeah?
Yeah, I
Every
didn't
time,
know,
I know.
I didn't know. Well, yeah, but in the past, there's movies where it's like, yeah, I've heard of that. No, I saw I had no idea that this movie existed.
Really? Okay. I had never seen it, but I've known about it for almost my entire life. I don't know why I never got around to watching it.
Now that's a rarity, you not actually seeing a movie. So the reason you didn't see it, of course, is because this is our June fan pick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was picked by Derek, who you had a chance to meet the last time you were down in Ontario.
Yes, that was a really fun time. It was great to meet Derek. Great guy.
Yeah, and, before you get into whatever you got planned, as is customary for our fan picks, just have a little bit of, blurb here on why he picked the movie. And I say blurb generously because it's a line. I send them a questionnaire. I can't control how much they write or don't. So the reason he wrote was, one of my favorite childhood movies, and I know you guys will love it.
Perfect.
I mean, I can't think of a better reason to suggest a movie for a fan pick.
I do have to say, Derek is one of those people that he'll say one sentence, and I'll take a few seconds to try and unpack everything hidden within that sentence. He's a man of few words, but much meaning. Yeah, I can easily see this. Like, had I watched this when it came out, or not when it came out, it would have been 3. But, like, as a child, had I seen this, this would have been one of my favorite movies of all time that I'd keep going back to. Right. I'm guessing by your silence you disagree.
That wasn't really a question. I don't know. What do you want from me here?
It was an open silence for you to respond if you wanted to. I'm not
tipping my hand on how I felt about the movie. You know me.
Yeah,
you should know me better than that.
Yeah.
I will say this. I am a little sorry I didn't know about it. Not based on liking or disliking it. But as I told you before, I used to watch Bruce Lee movies with my dad, specifically Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
And it just would have been cool to see more martial arts movies, from an earlier time that I could have potentially watched with my dad.
Especially something that has such solid comedy too. Like this movie, I would you just consider it a martial arts action comedy? Martial arts comedy?
See, I think that's an impossible task, is trying to categorize this one.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything.
It's like there's a little bit of a parody, but also a satire. It's a martial arts movie, but also a comedy. Like, what is this movie? I don't know, but it's a movie.
I'll tell you.
We know.
It's fucking fantastic. That's what it is. Okay. Now, I do have 2 paragraphs from an article here that I want to read, because even though we always say, if you're listening to the episode, we assume you've seen the movie, a lot of people listening don't watch the movies. So our breakdown of certain elements of it might seem strange to people. So from uprocks.com, I have a bit of an article called A Deeper Look into How The Last Dragon Became an 80s Classic. Now, the movie was written by Louis Venosta, directed by Michael Schultz, but Venosta really had an interesting take on a story he wanted to tell. And we're going to talk about things in the plot that we'll get to eventually, but things like Venosta had the movie theater scene, a hero who was teased for being different, a tough bad guy from the other side of town, and then the Shaggy Dog story. about how the hero had to embark on a journey before realizing what he sought was in front of him the whole time. Right off the bat, he knew this was going to be in it. The rest of the story came from Venosta's own multiracial background, as he describes himself as one of these guys who's always floating on the periphery of all these cultural tribes, which makes sense at the time and place. The article goes on saying that's evident from the concept of a black man obsessed with Bruce Lee's talents, philosophies, and style, as well as secondary characters like the 3 jive-talking Chinese Some Dumb Goy employees who spend their time on the street lip-syncing to Sukiyaki Hot Sake Su. He goes on to say, I was always very cognizant of the culture swapping that went on. I always thought it was funny in this particular case. You had these black and Hispanic guys who embraced this Chinese hero. You'd walk through Chinatown and you'd see Chinese guys breakdancing. It was in New York, but it was also my particular eye for this kind of cultural phenomenon of culture swapping. I was friends with guys like Mario Van Peebles at the time. We were all sort of part of a little group. We always talked about these blaxploitation films. There was always that dialogue. And I went, but they're all bad guys. There really should be a young black kid superhero type figure who kids can look up to with a positive aspirational kind of thing. That is 100% this fucking movie.
Yeah, I kind of checked out. There's a lot of words.
You checked out a long time ago. But with that bit of an introduction, you know the kind of movie we're getting into here. Like, yeah, it's a really fun movie. But the culture swapping, I was calling it shuffling in my notes, is so obvious and so much fun. But let's get into the movie itself.
Sounds like a plan.
So we open on Leroy Green, played by Taimak, in a training montage. And my next note is, this is already amazing.
What, just seeing his muscles rippling as he's sweaty and flexing over the text crawl? Not text crawl, the credits.
Dude's jacked. And
he knows, is jacked.
He knows what he's doing, man. This guy has black belts in Goju Ryu Karate, Wing Chun, Jeet Kune Do, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, Hapkido. And not only that, but this is a Motown Productions picture. So you know the soundtrack is going to be fucking banging. And I
love the soundtrack.
It's so good. It's so good. It might have beaten Rad.
No,
for me.
No.
Oh, dude. All right. The chopsticks was a weird one to include. But can you explain to me the point of, as he's going through different training areas, deflecting arrows and catching them?
What am I supposed to explain? It's a training exercise. You're going to be attacked from all directions, not just the enemy in front of you.
I guess, but arrows seem pretty dangerous.
Well, yeah. It's not the kind of training exercise you want to have a misstep in.
And what happens if he missed and didn't deflect an arrow or break one?
It didn't really look like they were heading towards him. A lot of them looked like they were to the side.
Maybe. But can you imagine he gets hit and the master's like, oh, fuck. And just dumps him off the edge of the bar?
Well, not necessarily. Maybe he reaches around to slap one and the arrow just goes through the palm of his hand.
Okay. It could have gone sideways real fast is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But Leroy's master congratulates him on catching and not breaking the blue arrow. Tells him that he's ready for the final level.
No. He says he's touched the final level. Not sure what that means, but he's definitely close.
Well, he's past the previous 7. The most recent was The Last Dragon. Oh, they said the title. And he must now find the glow. The master sends Leroy to find the wisest man in the universe, Some Dumb Goy. That joke fucking got me immediately. He gives Leroy a medallion saying it belonged to Bruce Lee once and tells him to give it to the man when he finds him. And I said the dojo's on, or not, I guess it's not really a dojo, but the gym is a barge on the water. Fantastic. I love that. But I do have to say, as a first-time viewer of this movie, Leroy's attire really caught me off guard, going back to what we said before about the culture swap.
Okay.
But Also, is Leroy the most stoic man alive?
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Was I supposed to drag that out and create some sort of anticipation for the response?
No, it's just I like that element of his character, but it, to me, like specifically, it almost kind of makes him boring.
Less relatable.
What's that supposed to mean?
Less relatable. I don't know how you would be insulted by that, but the main idea is that when you have a character like this, we're never going to be martial arts masters. I mean, maybe we could if we decided to take it up, but the relation's not coming from their actions. So a lot of the times you have to give them personality quirks, which later on we do see a little bit of the bumbliness. And that's where you're supposed to get your relation to the character. But for the majority of the movie, at least the first half, he's so stoic that it really does prevent you from relating to him, because you can't relate to him really from the martial arts side. I'm sure some people can, but not us. Not the mass audience, I would imagine. Or from a personality side, because he's not giving you anything.
Exactly. And the awkwardness that builds later in the movie allows you to form some sort of connection with him. But the clips of the Bruce Lee movie we see, is that Enter the Dragon? I don't have that written down. Okay, cool. After that, we cut to a screening of the movie in a theater. All walks of life here, rowdy crowd dancing in the aisles and everything. And this is, like I said earlier, is one of the scenes that the writer had already planned out in his mind. I love the smashing of the stereo in timing with the same jump in the movie. Some really fun editing there.
They do a lot of that with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But is this a common thing to watch a movie from the 70s in 1985 in the theater?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Is it also a common thing to bust out a boombox and start breakdancing in the aisles?
I have heard stories from firsthand experiences. Yes.
Oh, jeez, man!
It was
going to the wrong theaters, man.
Oh no, just a different time, man. New York has changed a lot in a short amount of time. I love Leroy eating popcorn with chopsticks. And I actually want to try that now because I hate getting that shit all over my hands.
I love the diverse crowd in this afternoon matinee, because it's clearly daytime.
Oh, definitely.
Watching Enter the Dragon. There's little kids that are just there with their friends. There's breakdancers. There's gang members. There's a transvestite. Everybody can enjoy the movie.
Yeah. And then we get an introduction to Sho'nuff, the Shogun of Harlem, who is so fucking good.
How do you get that name?
Honestly, Julius Carey is so good in this role. Before this, I only really knew him from The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. with Bruce Campbell. But oh my God, does he steal the show in this movie? As soon as he walks in, he doesn't really have to say anything. I don't know. I don't know. It's just such an entrance for this movie.
I find it funny you say he doesn't have to say anything, and yet one of the things he's probably best known for is not shutting up.
I know. But like the look on his face, his stature, his attire, like the giant shoulder pads
is
and everything.
Is he really tall?
He
appears really tall.
I think he was. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But dude, like him picking up a kid and be like, who's better than the Shogun? And the kid just goes, Bruce Leroy, that's who. And then some guy in the back is like, that's the only guy that stands between show and total supremacy. Of what?
I also had that thought, because they make it sound like he doesn't know of Leroy Green, but then later he does, because he's like, oh, this is the infamous Bruce Leroy catching bullets in his mouth. It's like, so did you hear about him or did you not?
Yeah. Also,
and how is he standing in your way if at no point does he try to stop you?
And who's shooting this guy in the face? If he's catching bullets with his mouth, is this more of his master's stuff? In which case, the arrows beforehand are just nothing.
Yeah, child's play, man.
Leroy is just too involved with the film to notice anything's going on somehow. Until Sho'nuff distracts him. And this is where he references catching bullets with his teeth. Again, please somebody fill me in about that. But Leroy dishes out lines of wisdom that just irritates Sho'nuff, who wants to fight. That's all he wants. Somebody tells him to sit down and shut up, and this starts an open challenge to fight.
Yeah. 30 of you that want me to sit down and shut up, come down and make me.
Oh, he fucks up that first guy so bad. Even like ripping out a chunk of his hair. And then this dude just jumps off the balcony and also gets fucked up. And one guy catches him off guard, actually gets a punch or a kick in on
It's a drop kick.
It's a drop kick.
And that's what distracts him from, like, Leroy is walking out of the theater and you kind of get the impression that Sho'nuff wants to stop him. But then this guy just, like, blindsides him with a drop kick, to which Sho'nuff grabs him by the foot and just starts cranking on it and says, "You're never going to use this foot again," before biting it.
He just breaks his ankle multiple times in multiple places. Yeah. And then bites his foot.
Mm-hmm. Well,
this guy's fantastic.
There's no honor in a cheap shot, man.
No, that's fine. We cut to Eddie Arcadian, played by Christopher Murney. In his house or apartment or whatever the hell it is, with wannabe pop star Angela, played by Faith Prince, who has the most annoying voice I've ever heard.
What is this character, and why is it always in these 80s movies?
Oh, it's a parody on Cyndi Lauper, for sure.
But it's so common.
It is. It really is.
Nasally voice and
But that was her, man. If you go back and listen to any of her songs or check out any videos, she had a high-pitched voice, a nasally voice, and for her, it works. Here, they're definitely overemphasizing it, and I get it for the parody element, but we get it too much, and I find it annoying.
I mean, during the course of the movie, she becomes one of the more likable characters, Angela.
Oh, definitely.
But just that voice, and dial it back a little.
Yeah. We also get boxer Rock, played by Mike Starr. Did you recognize Mike Starr?
Dumb and Dumber.
Exactly.
That's the only thing I recognized him from.
Oh, yeah, me too. I know I've seen him in other things, but it's always Dumb and Dumber.
But his introduction starts me with one of the main questions I have throughout the course of this movie and well beyond.
Curious?
What the hell is in that tank?
Yes, I have right here. Who is feeding a pig carcass to some sort of aquatic monster? It's in green sludge water, incredibly violent, apparently just shreds meat in seconds, but is small enough to fit in that tank.
At one point, I think it's a later scene in the movie with it, something swims by the side and almost looks like it has hair.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It's like a mop head or something. I'm like, what is supposed to be in that? And
I'm so glad we never find out.
I mean, obviously the water is murky and greenish so that you can't see what it is, but let's just say it's piranhas.
Yeah. I don't know. It just adds to a fantastic element that honestly I'm okay with. This movie is a fun time and they know it. So it definitely gives me some of the Big Trouble in Little China vibe. I don't know if you've seen that, but another classic 80s movie. It's just fun. The movie is so much fun. But we get Laura's video hot picks. The promo for it, anyway, comes on TV. And for, I believe, the third time on our show, Sandra, we have Vanity.
Correct. We've seen her in Action Jackson and
Never Too Young to Die.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It on the tip of my tongue.
Arcadian talks about how Angela will soon be the one hosting that show. Talking about Eddie, his hair's totally shaved into that cut, right?
It's got to be. There's no way it's that clean in the middle, naturally.
Yeah. We find out that Eddie was supposed to make Rock a boxing sensation, but Rock lost his fight, and I guess that's the end of his career.
Yeah, the Great White Hopeless.
Yeah. That's a good fucking line. Interesting movie too, The Great White Hope. Is that the only relation between the two? Because I was looking through some other stuff online, and different people were making reference to Rock being Eddie's brother, which makes that relationship much more intense.
I didn't get that. No,
it
just seemed like he was like a hired goon.
Okay. Cut to the studio where Hot Picks is being filmed, and dude, finally we get a movie where Vanity's killing it.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. She was, other than that one cringy lip sync.
Oh, the lip syncing is terrible, but so is the
terrible.
like convulsing that she's trying to pass off as dancing.
I really enjoyed her for the first time. Okay, obviously you disagree, but the environment of the studio, I loved that. It really reminded me of like, oh god, Solid Gold, hints of Soul Train. Probably the most I saw growing up was that really shitty Much Music show, Electric Circus, but where you've got live music playing and people are around dancing and just having a really fun time.
Yeah. I mean, you get definitely those influences, but it's just meant to be a good time.
And it looks like a fun time. I would go. Also, who doesn't love Rhythm of the Night by DeBarge?
I don't know a person live. I don't know. I like
that song is a fucking banger, man.
I was so happy when it started playing, and just ear to ear smile,
dude. I also work at a record store, and this very day, I was working on the sales floor, and in my head, I was singing the lyrics. And then this customer next to me started singing the backup vocals. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm singing out loud. It's just so catchy.
Song. It's such a good song.
Eddie's plan is to force Laura into playing Angie's video that he made. And these videos are garbage. Just fucking garbage. But it's perfect because this is exactly what the story needs. And then we get somebody I never expected to see, JJ, played by William H. Macy, trying to convince Laura to play Angie's video as well. And this guy's desperate.
Did they... I might have missed this in the 3 viewings of this movie I did this week. Is he supposed to be like her agent?
I don't really know who JJ is supposed to be.
We never see him again.
No, we don't.
I love how he's pretty much telling her, like, you need to play this video or they're going to kill me.
Yeah.
And she doesn't play the video.
Yeah.
We never see him again.
That's right. They fed him to the fish. They must have. But, like, a great job at building how powerful Eddie is supposed to be. Yet, other than this, it never really shows itself anymore in the movie.
I took it a very different way.
How so?
I took it as, why doesn't she just take the meeting?
Yeah.
Like, if JJ is supposed to be someone she knows, agent or not, but just somebody she knows, at this time, he's just like, you know, like, you really need to help me out. Just have dinner with him and check out the video. Be like, okay, yeah, I'll help you out.
Yeah. Not the case.
No, she's like, I don't have time for you.
I need to go lip sync right now.
Yeah, it's been nice knowing you.
Yeah. The lip syncing, as we mentioned before, this is utter shit.
Atrocious.
It's so bad.
Atrocious.
Yeah. It looks like she's having a panic attack while singing. Eddie gets the call from JJ telling him that Angie's video won't be played, and Eddie is not a fan of that.
I love it how this whole thing boils down to they're trying to get the video played, but if they showed that video on the show, the fans would just boo it, and that'd be the end of his plan.
Well, he should know it's awful.
I mean, apparently he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But
and it's just like giving Rock the one title fight where he lost. It'd be like, all right, we played the video. Everybody hated it.
Yeah. No, that honestly, if someone sat him down and made him watch an episode of Hot Picks and be like, look at these videos that they're playing on TV. Now look at this piece of shit you made.
He does see a video. He does see a video later.
They're on the level.
He does see a video later, and he really likes it.
Yeah, I thought that was his new like starlet, but he just put one on.
He didn't know who it was.
Okay,
Rock had to tell him who it was.
Oh, that's right. And we now get an introduction to Leroy's little brother Richie in the crowd. What's your take on Richie?
Richie's got swagger, man.
Richie, played by Leo O'Brien. Richie is fucking awesome.
He is just awesome.
Like every time he's on screen, he is the lead. I don't care what the story is that's being told. He's the lead. It makes me so sad, man, because we got 3 people in this movie: Vanity, Julius Carey as Sho'nuff, and Leo O'Brien as Richie, who are no longer with us, and that makes me really sad because they were quite talented, and seeing them work together in this movie is so good. I'm definitely going to try and deep dive into Leo O'Brien's filmography if I can. Leroy passes by as Laura leaves the studio. The eye contact here means everything. Laura gets in the car and is abducted by Chaz Palminteri, who we know from
saw
Airheads.
that too?
Yeah, he's only credited as like Thug 2.
I believe it's Hood 2.
Hood 2, sorry. Well, him and 2 other hoods. Leroy stops the kidnapping. How? How did he get there? Unless he was running after her immediately after the car pulled away.
No, the car didn't drive very far. It just kind of turned a corner.
And drove down the road for a bit, and it
maybe
stops.
A block.
It stops, and he's right next to it, though.
He's not right next to it yet, because there is a little bit of a delay when she gets out of the car and she's hitting them with her purse, and that's when he starts booking it, because he has spider sense to know that around the corner where he can't see, there's a kidnapping taking place.
A great fight scene, though.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
except for one very peculiar part.
Oh, which part?
When he throws Chaz through the window of the car.
Oh, yeah.
But the window's rolled down. And like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to get a very typical, maybe a little cliche, but very typical scene of a guy breaking through the window. And I'm like, they didn't have the budget to replace this window, so they just rolled it down.
Fuck no. No.
And then later, like a second later, they go back to him. And Chaz is almost kind of like looking like, how do I get out of this? It's like, what do you mean, how do you get out of this?
Just get up!
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Leroy just kicks the shit out of them. And then vanishes after hailing a cab for her. This is where Laura notices the medallion that Leroy dropped and takes it with her. And Eddie, Angie, and Rock are just waiting for the kidnappers to bring Laura. Eddie is, I don't want to say a great villain, a very good villain for this kind of film, because you do hate him.
Yeah, he's detestable.
Yeah. Leroy panics when he realizes that he lost a medallion. Eddie's henchmen arrive and claim that 20 black guys stopped the kidnapping.
With chains.
With chains.
I don't know how, and I get it, obviously it's supposed to be like a little bit of a parody, but like how you can watch these 3 and be like, this is absolutely what really happened, as they're scrambling to finish each other's sentences on like mad-libbing how it happened. Oh, there were so many of these 20, 30, and then the next guy's like, black guys, and then the third guy's like, with chains. It's like,
like get your story straight before.
Yeah, you presumably had the drive there to figure it out.
Eddie sends Rock out to get Laura, and we see
but
Leroy.
Not just sends him out, but he's hearing this ridiculous story, and he's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. No, she wants to play dirty, huh? It's like he fully bought it. and no punishment for the guys for failing. Just
so rewatch.
Yeah. You guys were up against some terrible odds. Yeah.
Leroy teaching martial arts class. Decked out in full Bruce Lee gear now. Mm-hmm. I forget what movie this is from. Do you mind looking up where he was wearing that yellow suit?
I was supposed to do this live, eh?
Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot about it. I thought I had my notes, but I don't. But it is iconic. Honestly, there was an MMA fighter who was in UFC for a while named Alex Caceres.
That's what I thought. Enter the Dragon.
He
wears it in his fight scene with Cream.
Yeah. Alex Caceres in UFC went by the name of Bruce Leroy and wore this as his gear. And people of all ages here in this class. We're introduced to Johnny Yu, played by Glenn Eaton, who I think is absolutely hilarious, but other people I've talked to are like, that guy's really annoying.
He's annoying in this scene, and it wasn't a good first impression, but as the movie goes on, I started to really warm up to him.
Yeah, well, he has one of the greatest quotes here, where he just says, well, you see, Leroy, you know how you're always teaching us to master the art of fighting without fighting? Well, I decided to do one better. I mastered the art of fighting without knowing how to fight.
He plays up the stereotype. He's like, you're just Asian. You know, you pop a stance and make a noise, and people just assume, and then gets kicked in the face.
he's so good.
Immediately.
But yeah, Sho'nuff and crew arrive, and he's just begging for a fight. The women try to intimidate, but Leroy doesn't.
Terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Just terrible. Oh, I want to peel this banana. What is that even supposed to mean?
I don't know, but you could easily take that in a different way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get the suit, right? But I kiss my fist, and I'm like, these are the least intimidating women that they could have had in this scene. Why? Why is this even in it?
I don't know. My next note just says, Johnny tries to intervene, but he's Johnny.
Hey, so, he stands up to them.
Kicked in the face. He does. Leroy eventually kisses Sho'nuff's Converse to show that confrontation is unnecessary. And then we cut to Leroy practicing on the rooftop, which looks amazing. Rooftop of the apartment building that his family lives in, I should say. Richie calls him in for breakfast with the family. And even, again now, second time I think we've seen Richie. Most charisma in this fucking movie. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
He's so much attitude, and it's delivered so well. His lines are perfect.
You know, and I think the key thing here is both for the actor as well as the character he's portraying. It's the confidence.
Super confident. Yeah. He plans on winning a contest where the prize is a date with Laura. Also, the daughter's name confused me for a bit. She's called both Sophia and Natasha.
Well, at one point they do say, just pick a name. You're confusing her.
Yeah. But Rudy from The Cosby Show.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is her only scene. Just a quick little scene.
And we get another one of my favorite characters. The father. I love him. Owner of the pizza joint, Daddy Green's Pizza. I love the little slogan, just direct your pizza to Daddy Green's Pizza, is brilliant. The triangle button on the TV is something that has nothing to do with the movie, but I remember having a TV from the early 80s with that button on it, and it immediately took me back to the 80s. I have no idea why. There even had a little slot in the side where you would insert the remote control as a holder. I don't know why. It just immediate nostalgia for me and made me even more invested in the movie. I know it sounds fucking stupid, man, and it is. It totally is. But I'm so into this movie at this point. I'm just looking at every single thing in every scene now.
You do you, man. You do you.
Yeah, I've been doing it all right, I guess, for the last few decades. Leroy and Richie opening the store.
You missed them seeing Laura on the TV, and that is what lets Leroy know, oh, that's who she is. Because presumably
he only
when he saved her, he had
as
no idea who she was.
No, not at all. You're right. The back and forth with the brothers, quite good.
Yeah, They actually do a really good job, like portraying that they are siblings, that they have a little bit of a love-hate, but they definitely have a chemistry.
Yeah, and I love how the younger brother is the one giving the older brother life advice.
Yep.
Which happens repeatedly throughout the film. But lines like, there's an art to making love and you don't even have a paintbrush. Which
he takes literally.
Oh, definitely. And it comes up in later conversation with Laura, and she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Leroy begs Richie to take him to Laura's show that night for the Seventh Heaven dance contest.
You know, it occurs to me that a show that popular that gets filmed in their neighborhood, it would be just as easy for him to ask anybody on the street where it gets recorded.
Yeah, definitely. Or, walk around the block.
There's giant posters.
Yeah. Although very small lineup to get in, which I
find walked by said posters supposedly on your way to the taxi to save her.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
You know where she might be? The area that she was when you saved her.
It's entirely possible. I'm not going to nitpick here, though, man.
But it leads to a fantastic image of his brother on his shoulders with a boombox forcing him to rap. The worst rap you could ever hear. Terrible. As hazing type thing. All right, I'll show you, but you carry me and you rap.
Yeah, I also love the little back and forth when they get to the front doors and you see it's not really many, 20 people, maybe less, lined up to buy $5 tickets to get in. And Richie tries to lead him around the back, and Leroy's like, aren't you going to buy tickets? He's like, oh, yeah, we're going to buy tickets. And as they get a little bit further away, he's like, I never buy tickets.
You just don't get it.
They go to the back door to get in. Richie's assuming one of his friends will sneak them in. And here Leroy sees Eddie's goons, this time just as production staff, successfully abduct Laura.
Okay. I know this is nitpicking. I know this is completely...
Don't you do it. Okay, do it.
What sound check happens in a van outside of the building? No way.
That was a rough one.
She's walking outside and she's like, shouldn't we have already done the sound check? And it's like, why would it be in a van?
Well, I mean, there are production vans, and that does make sense, but they're not normally outside of a fucking studio. It's normally when you're shooting on location.
I mean, it's not her first day on the show. You would think she'd know, we don't use a production van.
Yeah. But
it works. It works.
She fell for it. Yeah, it worked for them. Rock drops a clipboard on their exit, tipping Leroy off to Eddie's involvement. Why? Why would he have that clipboard? It says Eddie Arcadian on it. Yeah, it is. It has to be, right?
When you're committing an abduction, do not carry anything on it with your boss's name on it.
No. But Laura's taken to Eddie's house apartment thing and is being forced to watch Angie's videos and hates them, which is pretty funny. She's just eye rolling, wants nothing to do with it. Eddie's furious at her reaction, especially when she says that she's not going to play them.
I love how earlier you were like, he must know that they're terrible. And it's like, clearly he doesn't, because when the video stops playing, he's like, now, am I doing you a favor or am I doing you a favor? And it's like, he clearly does not know these are terrible.
And this is where I start feeling bad for Angie, though, because she tries to defend Laura. This is 100% like an abusive relationship.
Oh, yeah. They made that very clear earlier.
Yeah, but it just gets worse and worse. Great way of making us hate Eddie more, though. But Leroy here shows up in ninja gear and kicks ass, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie pulls off Leroy's mask.
Okay, I have a problem with that.
Okay.
You're a martial arts master. This old white guy pulled your mask off without you even reacting. Not a chance.
No. Unless there's more to Eddie than we know.
No, there is not. There absolutely
there is
not.
There's nothing. There is absolutely nothing. But Leroy dunks Eddie's head in the monster fish tank.
Which is not effective like it was earlier.
No, it almost fucked him up real good, though, in real life. If when they pull his head back out of the water, there's blood on his forehead right above his eye. When his head went into the tank, it hit the bubble pipe that was in the aquarium.
Ooh.
And like it just missed his eye and dug into his forehead and cut him open.
Oh.
Yeah, right? Laura and Leroy go back to her place and she gives him the medallion, which honestly, and I know it's a joke later on, but from the very beginning, I thought it looked like a belt buckle. He fumbles his way out of her apartment, but she seems to find him charming somehow.
She is so thirsty.
She is smitten.
So smitten.
Now we get the three guys dancing out front of the Some Dumb Goy fortune cookie factory. And Leroy is still on the hunt for the master.
These three are a little much for me.
I really enjoyed it. Like the writer was saying, like having the three jive talking guys out front of the fortune cookie factory, like the back and forth, it was just so different. Like there was no way you weren't going to notice what was happening.
I didn't think I had a limit for how much ridiculous I could take. This was pushing it.
Really?
This was really pushing it. These three guys. And I don't know what it is about them. It just, I don't know.
Just not for you, huh?
I think it's the dancing and outside.
You don't like people dancing outside?
I don't like dancing. I don't like happiness in general. People should be just disgruntled all the time.
Oh, I know. Anybody who's ever listened to the show knows that's how you are. I didn't realize the daylight dancing thing, though, kind of got you. Ruffled those feathers.
And then the one guy just steals his hat.
Yeah, that part's pretty rough. But in jest.
I mean, they go inside and close the door. He's still wearing that hat.
Yeah, true. Sho'nuff and gang arrive at Daddy Green's Pizza looking for Leroy. And, of course, like any 80s movie, they just trash the place, even the video jukebox.
Yeah, Mom's got some fire in her.
Oh, I have right here. Mama Green gets in some good target practice.
Yeah, she smokes a guy right in the face with a pizza dough, and
yep,
and the dad, Leroy Green Sr., I guess, is like holding her back.
Yeah. And but one of them dumps Richie in the trash can.
It's actually Sho'nuff dumps him.
It is Sho'nuff who does it?
Yeah, dumps him in the trash. The thing that I found funny, too, though, is when they're trashing the place, he, like, kicks the, like, jukebox thingy, whatever.
Video juke.
Yeah, that Daddy Green says, like, oh, I don't even own that, right? Because usually those are rented in them. But it's playing Angela's video.
Yes, it is. I noticed that too.
And I get it. I love that Sho'nuff's like, who plays this garbage? Right? Because, yeah, it's garbage. But at the same time, it's like, why does she need to get on the show if she's already on, like, jukeboxes?
Well, I think that's Arcadian's video jukebox because he has the same one in his house or apartment. So he must be supplying them as well as doing his arcade gaming thing.
I mean, if he has as much money as we're to assume he does, because there's no other way he'd have these legions of followers.
Yeah.
You'd think he could have just paid to get her on TV already without having to. Yeah, don't worry about it. You know what? Forget it.
You would think so. No, I'm with you. That's fine. Actually, I love when they're trashing the place. So like the one table's like busted in half, and then another guy off to the side just rips decorative lattice work off the wall that's not doing anything, and you could just put back up if you wanted to.
I think this is the first scene we see Sho'nuff wearing like flower prettied up shoulder pads that are clearly like football shoulder pads. Oh, yeah. And it's like, not many people could pull this off.
Yeah.
He's rocking them shoulder pads.
He totally does. He also tells the Greens that Leroy has to fight him now and can name the place. And as they leave, Leroy shows up. And Richie calls him out hard for being a coward.
I get like calling him out for like bowing to him previously.
Kissing the Converse.
Yeah, but in this scenario, it's like he wasn't there. There's a possibility that if he was there when they were trashing his dad's restaurant, he might have actually stood up.
Yeah, for sure. But Richie's point is that Leroy had the opportunity to stand up to him before and didn't. But there is the argument that there really wasn't as much violence or threat at the previous encounter. No. So, yeah. Cut to a very short training montage where Leroy can't let go of his brother's words. And then Laura arrives and asks him to be her bodyguard, but he turns her down. And then we get some more fun stuff from Johnny. Kind of a throwaway scene, really.
Yeah, it feels other than Laura just continuing to like undress him with her eyes and all the like suggestive, would you guard my body? Like, yo, lady, keep it in your pants. Like, slow down Vanity, a little here. Yeah.
Actually, speaking of which, I do have to go back and say that this movie, yes, The Last Dragon, but also referred to as Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Berry Gordy being a very well-known record producer and film producer, but being the founder of Motown Records. Honestly wanted Faith Prince, who played Angela, to be a pop star. Wanted to use this character in the movie to like turn her into a Cyndi Lauper-esque pop star. And she's like, I'd rather act. But he's the reason why we have such a banging soundtrack for this movie. I just had to point that out.
Goes to show that he has good taste in some regards, but not in others. Because if he actually wanted to make her a thing based on this movie, he'd not do it the right way.
Yeah, no. Eddie, he's out hiring the baddest criminals in New York to take out Leroy. What's your take on some of these dudes?
The one guy is just like, here's my resume, an article about someone I murdered. Like, you are quite open about that.
In an incinerator.
Yeah. And then one guy that just barks and headbutts a table. And they're impressed by this somehow.
Yeah, my two notes are the incinerator murderer and some weird beast dude.
Yeah, all he did was bark. And I mean, this is a martial arts movie. A lot of people could have broken that table.
Yep. My next note just says too much of Angie singing at this point.
What's with this getup?
It's terrible.
It's like, okay, headlights very literally, and then a license plate on her ass, and they're on roller skates, and this is ridiculous. And again, you have to ask yourself, how does Eddie think that this is good?
I don't know, man. But it is also 80s, and people did a lot of crazy shit that was successful. That makes no sense to me.
Drugs.
Oh, well, I mean, let's not get carried. It's not just an 80s thing. At least the scene has a point, because this is where Angie finds out that Eddie's going to take out Leroy. And she finally takes a stand and walks out on him.
Yeah, good for her. She grew as a character.
Their back and forth is brutal.
Yeah, he's detestable.
I just have written he is incredibly cruel. And she breaks down. She's like, yeah, you're right. But I'm doing my own thing. I'm in control of me now. Which is fantastic. But like, what a great way to make you dislike Eddie Arcadian even more. Good scene that I went into hating immediately. So the writing's already got me. Well, I mean, it's heavy from the beginning. Who am I kidding? Cut to Sho'nuff kicking the shit out of a guy in a gym.
Just as people stand around and cheer. This is what we do.
Yep. Eddie and Rock approach him with a briefcase of money. He tells them to just keep it.
Why?
Just
take the money.
Yeah, take the fucking money.
They're going to give you what you want, which is Leroy, but also the money.
This is a nice bonus. This is a very nice bonus. Also, what's up with Eddie's hairpiece?
I don't know.
Did you notice that?
No,
it's the only time he wears it in the movie. He's got like a hairpiece on, which honestly looks legit. Which makes me wonder if they filmed this scene first and then got him to shave that bald patch on his head.
I was about to say that when you mentioned the piece and looking natural.
Yeah. Leroy tries to apologize to Laura, which leads to the explanation of the glow and how bad it would be if the power fell into the wrong hands. What do you think? Pretty endearing moment? No, I liked it.
Whoa, you mean for Leroy?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when he starts bumbling and he actually starts getting you with a little bit of charm.
Yeah, exactly. He's so coy. And like she is totally into it. I thought it was good for both of them, man. I like this scene for character development.
Sure.
Do you disagree or you're just like, meh?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Richie and friends wait outside the studio for that night's show. Laura shows Leroy the studio and plays scenes from Fists of Fury and the Chinese Connection on the giant screen, much to his delight. Also, fuck, man. Willie Hutch's song, The Glow.
That's a good one.
It's better than good. The kids sneak into the studio and spy on Leroy and Laura making out, and Richie storms out in anger. Chinese Connection gives Leroy an idea, and he leaves. And then Richie returns and has another decent back and forth with Laura. Eddie and Rock show up and abduct Laura again.
Not even trying to like do it subtly this time. They're like, just take her.
Just barge in and take her. That's 3 times. 3 in the movie. We're like, well, let's just get her. And they get her. Cut to the 3 fortune cookie guys. Leroy arrives dressed as a pizza delivery guy. And honestly, like going back to racial and cultural stereotypes and shuffling, just comments, like social commentary in general. When questioned if he's the same guy as before, he even drops the line, no, we all just look the same.
Yeah. Where did he get the pizza?
That's a good question.
He just left the studio.
Where'd he get those clothes?
Where'd he get the clothes? The pizza is from his dad's shop, which was torn apart, though the pizza oven's probably fine. Although I still think they're probably not open right now.
Honestly, that probably would have been from Daddy Green's. But you think, I don't know. I never even really thought about that. It's a good point.
It's not. It's really irrelevant.
Angie goes to warn Leroy, but finds Johnny instead, telling him about her fears of what might happen to Laura. At this point, Eddie's gone completely mad and is in this like the suspended control booth thing at the studio with Laura, Richie, and Rock. And that's where he plays that video that I thought was of like his replacement for Angie, but as you pointed out, no, it's just another singer who Rock has to point out to Eddie who she is.
Yeah, and it just looks like he's getting infatuated, and that's going to be his next target.
Yeah. Is the plan to hijack the show all night?
I don't know. Has nobody else tried to go into the studio?
How does he know how to work the boards?
There's a lot of questions. It's best not to ask.
Sorry. Leroy discovers that Sum Dum Goy, the master he is looking for, is actually just a machine that makes fortune cookies.
This is really unnecessary to me.
Yeah, me too. I didn't like that at all. But, it's in the movie. Test audiences must have enjoyed it. He returns to his old master and begs to know why he was sent on this wild goose chase. And the master tells him that he already knows all of the answers.
Man, the master's answer can be summed up to, I was messing with you, man.
Yeah. I do enjoy the opening of a fortune cookie that has no fortune.
Well, you see him pull the fortune out before it turns out.
It's right. It's so good. But like the idea of opening a fortune cookie with no fortune is good. Also,
I like how he just has a bowl of fortune cookies at the ready.
We also get the reveal that the medallion is actually just a belt buckle. Fantastic. Leroy returns to the gym and Johnny informs him of Eddie's plans. So Leroy arms up and Johnny agrees to join him, but Leroy locks him in the weapons cabinet.
I loved that.
Yeah, me too.
Because he gets Johnny to be like, if you go, I'm going with you, thinking that that's going to stop him. And he's like, yeah, okay, come on. And he tosses him like a code or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And it's just Johnny's like, oh no, I might have to go through with this. And then Leroy, who has got him to drop his guard, is now like, well, are you going to fight with your bare hands or do you need a weapon? And he does this very subtly. And then as soon as Johnny goes to the closet, he locks him in. I'm like, wow, that was actually really well done.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Leroy enters the Seventh Heaven studio, but Eddie sees him on a monitor. And we get to see Ty. Do you recognize Ty?
No.
Oh, no, really?
Which one's Ty?
The little kid.
Oh, the little kid?
Yeah.
But he's not there yet.
No, he shows up to unlock Johnny, and the two head to the studio.
Yeah. I thought we were still in the studio. I thought you were referring to like when all the
all
the villains surround him, and you just see this like terrible ragtag group of villains that some of them just don't look like they're extras. Like they're clearly extras.
Oh yeah. But you recognize him, right?
Kino from Ninja Turtles 2?
Yes. So good. Honestly, though, probably has more charisma in this movie.
Fair.
Eddie's face appears on the big screens telling Leroy about the ambush, and Leroy makes quick work of most of the hired hands. But as soon as he starts losing, his class rushes in, and they just beat the shit out of the thugs.
He starts losing to a guy who just slowly body slams him twice.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, I get the idea that maybe he has power, but like, how did he catch him going that slow? Oh, right, because Eddie was able to unmask him going that slow.
Yeah, good point.
Oh, but by the way, Ernie Reyes Jr. was also in Red Sonja as Prince Tarn.
Oh, that's right.
I just looked that up.
I forgot he was in that.
Oh, Surf Ninjas, Johnny.
Yeah, he was in Surf Ninjas.
Anyway, okay, yeah, back to the
question for you. Who's working the camera?
I don't know. He was in Pool Hall Junkies. Oh, that's such a good movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh.
All right, then. Did you notice one shot where the thugs are pretty much all out cold on the ground and Leroy's class are just putting the boots to them?
No.
Yeah. They're like just laying on the ground unconscious. And these kids and adults are just kicking the shit out of them still.
Most of them are kids.
Yeah.
Beating the shit out of adults.
Yeah. Johnny U's got some sick skills.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he's somewhat competent.
Yeah. He knows how to fight now.
I guess.
Yeah. I fucking love Richie dancing his way out of being tied up. Did you catch that? I
pointed that out to Josh when we were watching it on my second viewing, and I'm like, why? Why is this happening?
It looks great, and it's fucking funny, man.
Yeah, that's Richie.
At this point, Eddie and Rock have already taken Laura elsewhere.
Yeah, they see the tide is turning against them.
Oh, definitely. But then Leroy almost kills Eddie with a spike that he throws.
Yup.
That took a turn in this movie for sure.
Wait, but he even says, like, the next one will not miss, as if he literally did it as a warning shot, knowing he wasn't going to hit him.
Yeah. One of Sho'nuff's thugs abducts Richie, but of course he's rescued by Leroy. And then Leroy kind of being led into the area where Sho'nuff lays in wait and let that fight begin. Pretty badass fight, man. Leroy gets his ass kicked for a really good part of it.
Yes, he does.
And then Sho'nuff gets the glow.
So earlier he's talking to Laura in the car, saying, you know, how bad it would be if someone evil got the glow.
Yeah.
Well, Sho'nuff has it. Didn't seem that bad.
Well, I mean, he was kicking the shit out of Leroy.
Yeah, but it's not like he was dominating the world or something.
Yeah, but like Leroy has an epiphany that he is the one and only master, and then he gets the glow instead and beats the shit out of Sho'nuff.
This is some bad CGI, man.
Oh, I loved it. It's great. It's exactly what it needs to be for this movie.
Got a very E.T. vibe from it.
Okay, it's 1985.
Like when he does the full glow when he's pulled out of the water tank.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's fine. The movie didn't have a lot of money. They did amazing work for what they had. Eddie just shoots Leroy in the face.
Yeah, enough of this martial arts stuff.
Yep. But he catches the bullet with his teeth.
Foreshadowed.
Yeah. Well, we knew that was coming up. It had to.
I had no idea. I thought he was done. I was like, oh no, credits are going to roll.
They killed the hero in the most brutal way. And then Leroy suspends Eddie from a chain as the police arrive.
I found this so funny, and I mentioned this to Josh when we were watching it. I'm like, he yanks on that chain for so long, but it lifts Eddie off the ground by like a foot.
Not even. It's less than an inch. At one point, the police are trying to lower him down, and as soon as they start cranking the chains, his toes are already on the ground.
Yeah, but like when Leroy's lifting him, he yanks on that chain for a while.
Time and time and time again, yeah. Well, with everybody safe, that night's filming of the show is a go. Leroy brings Laura flowers. We get a solid laugh spot, and then cue credits and Michael Jackson. So, The Last Dragon.
Yeah, man.
I really liked it.
Cool.
You?
I don't know. It's not that time of the episode, man.
Wait, that was Michael Jackson, right?
Oh, I don't know. I usually turn it off when the credits start. You got mad at me for this already before.
Fuck.
Oh, I think it was Dog Soldiers. You yelled at me for turning the movie off when the credits started, and I didn't get the newspaper headline.
Oh, no.
What?
I'm just trying to remember if it was or not. I have it in my head that it was Michael Jackson. Okay, if I'm wrong, don't get mad at me. I just remember Michael Jackson.
I don't think anybody's going to get mad at you for it, man.
Okay. Don't you do it. But yeah, man. Let's get into numbers.
You betcha, man.
Guess the budget. I said they didn't have a lot to work with. In 1985, I guess it was a decent amount.
2 million?
10.
That's a decent amount of money.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, I have to find out who was singing that song.
Just let it go, man.
No, I need to know for myself.
Just let
I may
it
as well
go.
do it live. No, not Raya the Last Dragon. 1985. Come on, asshole. Okay, it's just not going to happen. All right. So yeah, $10 million budget. Gross?
I don't know, man. I'd never heard of it. 15.
Just over twice that. 33. I think box office was 25 million, but home video sales brought it up to 33 million, which...
Well, that's definitely a success.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. The ratings. Disagree with the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score on that is perfect. But we always start with IMDb. Do you care to take a guess? IMDb rating. Out of 10, what did The Last Dragon get?
This is easy, a 7 or an 8.
6.8. So yeah, 7 for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the fucking critics on Rotten Tomatoes, 59%.
That seems low.
It is low. Audience score, 86%.
Oh, come on. I was going to say 87. You didn't let me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think that's perfect. I think 86, 87, yes.
That would have been like one of my closest guesses.
You've guessed right on before.
Have I?
Yeah, I think so.
I think for budget, maybe not ratings.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Oh, whatever.
Awards?
You betcha, man. So we always start with our fan pick.
Yep.
So with worst or least favorite performance, Derek wrote Rock. And he wrote the reason, I wish it was a real wrestler.
Well, it was a boxer.
I think maybe he meant like get somebody with like a wrestler's physique to play the role.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more believable, but I do not have any further information to go on than that.
That's fine.
So after the guest, you start us off with worst or least favorite performance.
Yeah, I have Mike Starr as Rock.
Really?
Yeah. I have no problem with Mike Starr whatsoever. His acting is fine. The character's pointless. Absolutely pointless. You don't need him.
No, I mean, most of the stuff that he does could have just been one of the many, many faceless, nameless
Get
goons.
Chaz. Chaz could have played that role, or just you combine Chaz's role with Mike Starr's role, and you're good. You're golden. What about you?
Come on, man.
It's not Vanity.
The Vanity Award goes to Vanity.
No, it can't be. They're
It's
so
Vanity.
Okay.
No, I hate the character.
I understand. It's your opinion for sure. All right.
I mean, if you want to go with the reasoning bias, I'm cool with that, but the Vanity Award goes to Vanity.
It's not the Vanity Award.
Oh, man, 3 for 3. She's becoming the Vanity Award.
Okay. What's Derek's favorite character?
So he wrote, Leroy and Sho'nuff were close, but I'm going to go with the Shogun of Harlem, Sho'nuff.
Julius Query.
And as I start off us with best, I just have to say, Derek, spot on, got it. It is Sho'nuff, the best character in this movie that every time he's on camera, you just want to see what he's going to do, you want to hear what he's going to say, and you just want more of it.
Yeah. I also went with Julius Carey as Sho'nuff, but it was super close with Leo O'Brien as Richie.
Those were the two that I debated between, actually.
Yeah.
But in the end, it was like, no, it's Sho'nuff. He has an air to him. Every time he is on camera, he demands your attention.
Yeah. No, he's great. What did Derek have as memorable line?
Okay. Am I the meanest? Sho'nuff.
Sho'nuff.
Am I the prettiest?
Sho'nuff.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town? Sho'nuff.
Sho'nuff.
Well, who am I? Sho'nuff. Who am I? Sho'nuff. I can't hear you. Sho'nuff.
It's great.
And the reasoning is listed, just flowed so well, and I wanted to be part of his crew. No, I wanted to be him.
Okay, well, that's getting a little out of hand there, Derek.
I can't fault him for any of that.
I almost picked that.
Okay, what did you pick?
I picked a line from Daddy Green when Sho'nuff and his gang are fucking up Daddy Green's pizza. And they try and make an example that one guy just like breaks a table in half. And it's a very fake looking break. Like obviously it was like pre-cut to break that way. And he
It
just
was
goes,
Sho'nuff breaks the table.
I didn't think it was. Oh, it was. Yeah, he started it off, and then the guy ripped the lattice work off the wall. And he just goes, "Oh God, my table! What are you doing?" I don't know why, but that is my most memorable line from this movie. It's just the way he delivered that was perfect.
Okay. All right.
You picked the same as Derek?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if this is kind of cheating, but it's not so much the line as it is what happens as a result of it.
Okay.
But it's in the movie theater when Sho'nuff is talking to Leroy, and the guy on the balcony is just like, "Why don't you just sit down and shut up?" First of all, I really did like the line because it came out of nowhere. It just came out of nowhere.
Line.
But then when it shows Sho'nuff's face reacting to him, he's like, "Sit down and what? You want me to what?" It's just so good.
Julius, you were fantastic.
Oh, so good. I want to watch a prequel movie. Obviously, it can't happen, but of like how Sho'nuff became the Shogun of Harlem.
Oh, that
I'd
would
watch
be
a
amazing.
whole movie about that.
Oh, me too. For a while, they were talking about doing a sequel and then eventually doing a remake, and then just none of it came to be. So,
Okay,
it's frustrating. But memorable scene, Sandro. What did Derek pick for that?
when Leroy is in the fight scene and he acquires the glow.
Really?
That's all it says. Yep.
Okay.
It's my first time really disagreeing with Derek on this.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
So,
but okay. I mean, it
is memorable.
It culminates in the story for sure, but okay.
I mean, even just the special effects of seeing his body glow is going to be memorable.
Yeah.
Maybe not for the right reasons, but yeah. I am so torn, man, and I still can't decide.
Me too, dude. It's the only award I have that's blank.
So I got 2, and I'm just going to say them both because I can't pick.
Okay.
The first one is when Chaz gets thrown through the open window.
Yeah.
And that's not for my favorite. It's just I can't get it out of my mind how ridiculous. I get why it happened, right? Budgetary reasons. They didn't want to actually break a window. But on camera, it just looks so ridiculous to just... And like, Leroy guns him. Like, he puts his strength behind it and just, tosses him into the window and he just lays on it. It's like, what was that?
I have no idea, man.
And then the other one, which is probably the one that if I was forced to pick, I'd probably go with. And it is when they are doing the big fight scene between the class and all of the goons. And Johnny gets knocked down for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just see Ernie Reyes Jr. Just this little kid just look at Johnny, look up at him. He's so pissed off. And it's just like, oh shit, something's going to go down. And then this 3-foot tall kid just beats the shit out of a couple of guys.
Yeah.
So good.
Kicks their ass. You know what? I'm going to have to go for that as well because that was a really, really good scene. And let's see, he would have been... What? That doesn't make sense. Okay, the movie came out in 1985. Reyes Jr. was born in 1972. So he'd be 13, 12 maybe, when it was filmed.
Way younger than that.
He looks like he's 7 or 8.
Yeah.
All right. But no, that's a really good one. And honestly, in a movie where there are countless options to pick for memorable scene or even favorite scene, that's a good one for sure. So now, Sandro.
Yes, sir.
Final thoughts on 1985's The Last Dragon. Like it, dislike it, recommend it. What are you thinking?
All right, go ahead, man.
All right. I love it. I absolutely love it. I wish I had seen it years and years and years ago so I could have grown up with it. definite purchase. I recommend everybody buy it. Everybody watch it. No doubt. I don't know why I didn't watch it sooner, because I'd heard about it and I've been told by multiple people, you're going to love this movie. I'm like, yeah, probably. It sounds fucking awesome. And just never got around to it. And that sucks, because this is a fantastic movie. And I'm so glad I finally saw it. Thank you, Derek, for picking this. Great choice. I love this movie. Sandro?
Dude, I watched this movie 3 times in 1 week. What does that tell you?
You're angry with Derek?
Dude, the second time I watched it, I called up Josh and I'm like, what are you doing? You got to come over and watch this movie with me.
It's great, man.
This movie is so good. The movie's not great.
The experience is.
The experience is that you don't go into this movie wanting a good movie. You go into this movie wanting to have fun. This movie knows what it is, right? It's not trying to be some sort of award-winning movie. It's just trying to be entertaining, and it does that for the most part. My only real complaint with the movie is I think at an hour and 42 minutes, I think it is, it's a little long. And cut down a little of the scenes, like with the 3 fortune cookie guys, get it to about that hour and a half mark, and I don't even know if I'd be able to find a complaint beyond the obvious Vanity should have been recast as like any other actor, maybe a mop with a face on it. But this movie is so good. So good.
It is fantastic.
Man, I'm going to get the ire of Vanity fans.
You should. She was good in this movie.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
You're a movie guy?
Yes.
All right.
This is not Never Too Young to Die. And this is not Action Jackson. Although Action Jackson was pretty fun. Actually, so was Never Too Young to Die. But she was great in this movie.
Man, imagine like going to a theater for a double feature of Action Jackson and The Last Dragon.
Oh my God. I would totally do that.
I'd be breakdancing in the aisles for that one. All right, so that was our thoughts on The Last Dragon. If you guys want to share your thoughts, of course, we encourage you to reach out to us. We are on social media, Twitter at BS Bargain Bin, Facebook.com/BS Bargain Bin, or you can leave a comment in the comments section of the YouTube video.
Smooth.
Yeah. Sometimes I just don't know where I'm going with these things, even though it's like 90% the exact same every week. That being said, again, Derek, thank you for nominating this movie. Thank you to the fans for voting it, because
thank you.
I don't know if we would have ever watched it for the show otherwise, and I'm so glad we did. That being said, we got to follow this up with another banger, don't we? What are we watching next week?
Next week, well, I mean, it's your pick, man. You tell me, what are we watching?
That's not how the gimmick goes, but okay. I don't even know the year, man. This is why I rely on you to do this part.
1989.
We are watching the 1989 wrestling movie, No Holds Barred.
Hey, are you looking for a little escape? Want to see something?
This is sick!
You don't see every day. Are you ready for a whole new Hulk Hogan? Hulk Hogan is ripped. To the world, he's a hero. But to this man, he's history. Zeus. Stand back. Way back. Get ready for the battle no ropes can hold. No ring. No referee. No rules.
Gentlemen, it's time.
No holds barred.
This is an at a display of strength and determination.
Until next time, have a good one.
All the best, guys.